kind, friendly. Their children were involved in the kids programs where they lived. They went to the camps and volunteered in their teens. These parents did everything right. Looked like a model family. But in college, the son got involved with the wrong people. He started making bad decisions. He ended up dropping out, getting on drugs and into all kinds of trouble. He got to the point where he'd barely even see his family. This friend of mine, like any parent, was doing everything he could to try to convince his son to get back on track. He had had so many heated conversations where he had let him have it, try to get through his stubbornness, but he realized the more he did that, the worse it got. He was trying to help. He had good intentions, but he was damaging the relationship further. He finally had to do what this farmer did. He said, God, I'm going to leave it alone. I can't change him, only you can. He and his wife, they kept praying, believing, declaring God's promises, but he quit trying to force him to change and to make him do what's right. As a parent, he kind of felt like he had failed. He tried to be a good example, tried to guide and teach his son. He never dreamed it would turn out like this. But sometimes the enemy comes in at night and sows a weed. There are things that don't make sense, that are not fair. The good news is that's not how your story ends. The enemy doesn't have the final say. He may sow some weeds, but that does not stop your harvest. There's a day coming when those weeds are going to be pulled up. God is faithful. He sees you doing the right thing. Years went by. They didn't see anything improving. Nothing was getting any better. They just kept loving their son, encouraging him. They sent him to rehab again and again. Not long ago, he was watching our service on television. He called his father and said, Dad, I just prayed that prayer with Joel at the end of the program. I'm turning my life back over to God. These parents, they never saw it coming. It was more than they could imagine. They're so grateful, so happy. He's like a different person. He's in church, honoring God, fulfilling his purpose. We all have these times where we find weeds, things popping up that we didn't sow. We were being our best, doing the right thing, and now there's opposition, conflict at work, setback in our finances. It's easy to get frustrated and try to straighten people out, and force this door to open, defend ourselves against what was said. That's when you have to hold your peace, remain at rest, and let God fight that battle. Sometimes the best strategy is do nothing. Leave it alone. It can also be the hardest strategy. We want to fix things. We want to vindicate ourselves. We want to push that door open, but you have to stand still to see the salvation of the Lord. If you'll not take matters into your own hands, you'll see God do things that you could never do. A couple of years after I started ministering, the church began to grow and more people began to watch. And I was amazed.